Hey, everybody. We're so excited to be here with the lovely Issa Rae. I'm Rachel Skelly, co founder, chief creative over at Cast. This one needs no introduction. There are so many titles that I could add to the intro, but the lovely Issa is here to join us to talk about jewelry, inspiration, storytelling, all of her many titles and hats. And we're so excited to have her here with us. So thank you for joining us, everybody. And Issa, I had a really hard time trying to figure out what to ask you because there's literally a thousand things that I want to talk to you about. And people kept sending questions in, and I was like, oh gosh, how do I get to all of these? So we'll have to do another one of these. But I, I figured we could, among your many titles, storyteller, actress, producer, entrepreneur, all the things, I thought, why don't we start at the beginning? And you are such an amazing storyteller. And I thought it would be fun to kind of hear when you first discovered that storytelling was really your passion or your superpower, kind of when did that happen?
Well, thank you. I think I discovered that it was my superpower, and that's still too strong, but I discovered the ability to like find community and to make friends in sixth grade because I had these classmates that did not like me and they just thought I was lame. And then I wrote this play and cast them, and they loved it. They loved, the story. They loved being able to act it out. I directed them, and it just turned over like a new leaf for me and them, at least for the time being, until I switched schools. But it was like, oh, I'm kind of good at this, and I want to do more of this. And there's something about creating something that makes people feel seen and resonates with them. And I don't think I knew that I wanted to fully pursue it then, but I knew that I loved it and
Yeah,
it was an extension of me.
I love that. And then and then I feel like if you had to move to another school, then you had that skill. You could just continue to storytell your way into.
Sure. Or change personalities, which is what I did.
Ah,
Like,
ah.
new school, new me, and you make it work. And that
Yeah.
was also part of like, I guess part of that is storytelling, is like the new thing
Yeah.
that you present at the new school that you are. Like you have an
Yeah.
opportunity to make a new character.
Yeah, well, I feel like that's so true in what you've been doing in your career. You're just constantly like add another thing to the list of what you're kind of creating and accomplishing, which I think is so inspiring. Well, then going back, I love that idea that, just using that to woo and win people over. What would be one piece of advice you've come all of this way? Is there something you would say to that little sixth grade girl or the girl in, on her YouTube in the bedroom, kind of launching for the first time? What do you tell her today? What's that piece of advice?
Oh man. It doesn't have to be perfect. And success, uh, or the path to success, it won't be what you expect, because at that time, I always talk about comparing myself and my journey to others, and it took like the path here to even just be talking to you. It
Yeah,
has been such a zigzag and up and a roller coaster of moments, and all those points matter. And I got discouraged so many times, and it just felt like I was getting signs that maybe I shouldn't do it, but that persistence and understanding of like this is all part of the journey was huge
yeah.
for
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, that gets into my next question just about navigating. And it seems like, and one of the things I so admire about you and I love, and even like you can't help but do it, you're so humble and you're so real. And I remember thinking before I got the chance to meet you, thinking, gosh, is she really the way that she appears? And you're just so authentic. And so I love how transparent you are and that you share that journey. And it's not always perfect. But it looks from the outside like, dang, she is killing it. Everything she's setting out to accomplish, she just, does. Can you talk a little bit more? I know that a lot of the women that are following would love to hear just moments where there were roadblocks or obstacles, challenges, and how you, found the courage to continue and work your way around. Is there some pivotal moments in your life that you remember that would be motivating?
I mean, like in starting anything, it's like where to even begin. And
Yeah.
so many of the roadblocks I had were just like, how do I even get started? I don't have any money.
Mm,
I feel like it has to be on this specific level to even put out there. I know so many perfectionists that ask me too of just like, how do you know when it's right to put out? And I'm just like, I know the
mm,
feeling of sitting on something until it's just right. And then you might miss an opportunity. And
right.
I would rather like put something out there that's almost right than miss a moment for something that ends up being perfect.
Mm,
And so like that was hard, was navigating around that and until I finally just looked at what was available around me to get started. So like a free camera from the library or borrowing a friend's camera and like putting insurance on it and then using my community of people, and that means friends and my dad's office to shoot and my apartment and all those
mm.
things and like scrapping things together. And then other roadblocks is like it's hard to do things by yourself, you know, as a founder,
Yeah. Yeah.
to especially in the equivalent of kind of starting a business and long like every project that you start is the equivalent of a new business and in terms
Right.
of managing people and trying to get to the finish line of execution and finding those right people can be a challenge. And I've been blessed on this journey and it's been trial and error of finding those people who are going to like ride with you in the long run. And now I feel like I'm a lot better about discerning who can come along for the ride and
Yeah.
who I'm in service to as well.
Yeah, that's so good. I like this theme of like it doesn't have to be perfect and getting it out there, which I know can be really hard to do. I think we're our own worst critics and it's hard to decide like when is it done. But I love that you just get it out there and learn and have that courage and bravery, which is obviously a theme that we
You.
can't ignore. But that's really I don't know. I just think that that's so insightful. The other piece I wanted to just get some tips on. Again, we've had lots of questions, and I was thinking about sort of what's relevant for all of these people tuning in. Something around if you're setting yourself up, getting ready for maybe a big moment in your life, whether it's a job interview or you're pitching. I know you have a pitch and we have to get you out of here for because you've got a pitch to go to next and you're going to crush it, as you, I'm sure, always do. Or a date, a blind date, something like what are words of kind of motivation that you do for yourself to kind of get past your insecurities or hype yourself up, get yourself ready for a big moment? Is there some magic trick?
It really does depend on what I'm doing, but more recently, I find myself saying it's just a moment. You know, I like really, I get
Yeah.
nervous as fuck. Like I don't
I'm
even
nervous right now, if you can't tell.
moment,
It's hot. I'm
moment.
sweating. I am nervous. I've
You're
gotten to
doing
chat with you so
amazing.
much.
You
I
don't
love you, but
present.
I'm nervous. I have never done this before. I'm doing
You're
a
doing
webinar with Issa
amazing.
Rae.
Please, you do not
I'm
present
still
as that.
fangirling on you all this time later. I'm
You're
sorry. Keep going. Keep going.
I'm gonna have to say, if someone's nervous, you're the perfect person to be around because you do not present as that. Like,
Oh,
if
good.
something is
Oh,
going
good.
wrong, you'll look like everything's
It's fine. It's
so.
fine. Yeah, it's
That's
okay.
a talent. I feel like when I'm nervous, you can tell, and that's why I do have to psych myself out and just be like, you know what, this is a moment, and you'll be on the other side of it, and
Yeah.
and I think to the other side of it. I always think about
Okay.
the end result that I want.
Yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes I'm not gonna lie to myself that if I get that um that desired result on the other side,
Right.
it's great. But
Okay.
you also when you visualize what you want and it doesn't happen, it could be that much more soul crunching.
Yeah.
But it's just a moment, and then you
It's
have
a
an opportunity
moment.
to get the next one.
It's a moment. You know what? And already I'm like, this is a moment. And it's so fun to be here. And I feel like we're in it. And on the other side of it, I have some VRA. So
Yeah.
I got to represent for you. So I know what's on the other side.
And then it's
um,
your mind.
I love that. I have to ask you, I'm sure you get this. People ask you all the time. And I know we talked about it when we were talking about doing our commercial, the campaign with you, the mirror talk.
Mhm.
It's like my favorite thing from Insecure. Is that where did that come from? And do I want to believe that that's you in your bathroom every day? Like, is that what you do? Should I do that? Is that the secret? Like, what?
I literally do not do it. I came up with it like in my awkward black girl days, thinking of Nicki Minaj. You know,
Yeah,
it's a combination. It's two things. One was my best friend and I share this. There's a movie called Poetic Justice, and there's moment where Janet Jackson in the beginning of the movie, she's mourning a loss, and she does this thing where she looks in the mirror and she
yeah,
like is crying, and then she smiles. Which is so strange. And I feel like I've done that before where it's just like
love
you're
it.
sorrow and you smile and there was something inspiring about that. And also the way that Nicki Minaj raps. There was like this crazy motivational quality and I put that together. And then with Insecure, it evolved into, obviously this character who's insecure everywhere else, but in front of the mirror is the only
Yeah,
place that she can be herself and psych herself up. And that was a device. And I never really thought that I just thought it was funny, but I can
yeah.
see the value in it. Like I've
It's
tried it now.
so
Now I feel
good.
stupid, but I do
Oh,
talk to myself a lot. I just don't talk to myself in the
in the
mirror.
mirror.
So I would
Okay,
recommend
okay.
you still do it. I think it's great. Because are you a sticky note person?
I am definitely a sticky note person. I
But
sticky
not on
note
your
and I not in my mirror and I do talk to myself a lot, but not into the mirror. But I think as I've gotten older, like the self-talk is real. I have to like now I'm saying to myself, it's a moment. It doesn't need to be perfect. It's a moment. Issa
Yeah, I have
says,
to
and
reel
what Issa
mine
says,
in.
yeah.
I reel mine in all the time. I walk around the house talking to myself, and my husband's like, "Huh?" And I'm like, "I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to him." Never mind. Sorry.
I love it. I love it. Well, so the next piece I wanted to chat with you about, we have so much to talk about around jewelry, but I wanted to talk a little bit about that sort of entrepreneurial spirit. And again, amongst your many titles, you have so many different businesses, brands, and things that you've created. Most recently, obviously, some of the things with us, which we're excited about. But what is the throughput there? Like, what for you connects when you decide you've got your restaurants, your coffee shops, all of these amazing things? Is there sort of a common theme? How do they fit together for you?
Yeah, they're all authentic things that I think are cool and would be proud to rock and promote.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was just talking to um our business administration team this morning, and they asked a similar question, and I was just like, stuff that I'm not embarrassed to promote. Like, I don't want to feel like
Yeah.
I'm just selling any and everything. Like, I have a personal attachment to to everything
Yeah.
that's in the portfolio, like from the
Yeah.
coffee shop to like that being an actual destination
Right.
that where I get my most creative inspirations. And even, collaborating with you and your team, it came down to like how incredible you guys were and the story and the passion. It's one thing to see a deck and be like, "Oh, okay, this seems cool," but to meet the people
Yeah.
behind it and to hear, because I'm attracted to stories, the story behind it, the messaging behind it, and to be aligned in so many ways, that made me excited to just be a part of your
Yeah.
team. And so many of the projects I would also say that I'm a part of, I'm excited about the people involved as well. And I have so much
Yeah.
faith in the leaders, and that's part of the fun part too.
Yeah. And you definitely, I see that in everything that you're involved in. And I see it. I remember you shared, and when we talked, and I didn't want a spokesperson for the brand. I wanted to really work with someone who was truly a creator that was inspiring and iconic and entrepreneurial and all of these things. And I love you shared very much early on just about how authentic those connections were. And you see it. You're with Issa Rae and your restaurant and Hilltop, and of course, and true to your word, every time I see you on camera, you are rocking all of this brave. And
I
I'm like,
mean,
that's
I love it. Y'all made
our
an
jewelry.
exception for
We
me.
made,
So.
yeah, it's so good. It's so good. And I have to say, so for talking about those like moments for me as a creative director and co-founder, like I have spent my career pitching. I have done so many pitches, but I have to say, again, on being nervous, and I told you this when I met you, when I pitched you, when we had that meeting, I was like, this is like the moment of my career. Like, don't blow it. I was so
And
nervous.
again, would have never known. Like literally, Erin, I was like, "What are y'all talking about?" But
we
yeah,
were We were
Y'all
nervous,
so
but you were gracious and we had so much fun. It's funny, I was actually digging. I found like some of
oh,
my
pick the
original,
reference
I
point.
have like all these original boards that we had in the room. And it was like such an amazing time. And I love that it was like an hour-long conversation. And you just said, okay, I love it. I'm in. And I think I almost fell out of my chair. I was like, oh my gosh. And then
But
we've
you know
been on
what?
this journey.
Another part of like an incredible part of this journey is the learning experience too.
Yeah.
And like, you talk about me being gracious, but like I have never designed jewelry before. I didn't know what went into it. And to also watch someone in their expertise work and to get the designs and to be able to learn the language that I'm still don't know much about. But like that was
You
such a
do.
fun
You
process.
do.
And you are
Yeah.
so good at interpreting my basicness,
Hmm.
and that
Ah,
was
what?
it's true.
Don't say
It's true.
that.
Like I didn't know how to describe what I wanted
Yeah.
in some instances, and you'd be like, "No, no, no, I can understand," and you translate, and I'd be like, "I hope she gets it," and then I get the drawings, and I'd be like, "This is
Yeah.
better than I imagined." So
Oh,
it was just like that process, and for anybody who's ever been through it, going from the design and then the prints, and then to like actually holding the jewelry was
yeah.
feeling and so satisfying. So
It
powerful.
was so fun. Honestly, Issa, like I have to say that a big part of that was you were so consistent. You knew, and I see that in your work in general, that you just you know what you like, you know what you want, you know how to articulate that. And I feel like every meeting we had, and there were so many fun back and forths, you knew it was very clear, like it's not this, I'm not quite sure, but you knew how to give the direction, so we kind of knew where to take it. And it was a really fun process. I know I actually have all of these boards. I was finding all of these different sketches of all of these pieces that we went through on every different piece of jewelry. And it was exciting because it felt like you were so in it. And I think that's what I want everyone to understand is that you wanted to make jewelry that was every day. When you say you're basic, but like something you could wear every day, but that also felt special and polished and put together, because your day to night is incredibly different, I'm sure, especially compared to many of us. But like you have so many different things you're doing in a day, and I see you again, I truly see you in that jewelry doing all those things, which is
It,
exactly what we wanted to make.
which is
Yeah.
also what makes it satisfying. Like I have the story and the feeling, and it really does feel like my
Yeah.
armor. Like today is like one of my busy days, and that's typically, Tuesdays and Thursdays are always my back-to-back days.
Sorry, I should have picked a
No,
different
no,
day.
no, 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 please. I'm the one
Noted.
that offered it. I offered it.
Noted.
But
Noted.
but I was like, yeah, even in putting rings on.
Yeah.
I was just like, I'm ready for the day. Like here,
Yeah.
and then when I go to my event this evening, then like it's gonna switch up, and it's like we constructed that story, and
Yeah.
that is the part of me, and that's so fulfilling too.
I love it. And I remember that moment in that room when we were chatting early on about this concept and talking about how jewelry feels like armor. And I remember both that you had that same feeling like, oh my God, I feel the same. I'm a rings person. You're a rings person. You had all these rings on. We were talking about the feeling, and it so does. I actually was just reflecting. I piled all of my stuff on today,
I
including
see.
all my Brave. I've got all my Brave on, but it does make me feel powerful and put together. And I just recently, finally, I had to order mine because I didn't want to take from inventory, my Brave pendant, and I got it. And we are in the thick of fundraising right now, and it is not easy. It is really hard. And I kid you not, I have been putting my Brave on every day, and I feel like I have like a little Issa courage with me where I'm like, keep going. But
My right mind.
I
Well,
know,
oh my
and
gosh,
you've
it's all
got
black today,
I
which
was gonna, well, that's the perfect, okay, great segue. Cause and I've shared this story so much because I love it. For one, I want everyone to know, like Issa loves our flip ring. And you asked me, you were like, I want something in my collection that flips. What can we do? And I love a pendant. And that was you saying, you very clearly, this is what I want. What can we design? And we came back with this, and you told me, like, I love this so much. I'm going to wear it every day of my life. And then I love what it symbolizes. So now you can say
so I did not. This is not a reflection of.
of me and our
It's not,
relationship.
no,
Is this you ghosting
no.
me? Are you silently quitting me, Issa?
It's crazy. I feel like because we also talked about like wanting. First, I'll explain this, but like I have made this. You see that Rachel's is on gold. And
Yeah.
for me, when it's on gold, it means I'm approachable. I'm having, a
I'm
great day.
extroverted. I'm ready for a combo.
Yes. And when I'm on black, I'm like, please don't talk to me, leave me alone. Like, but if I'm in the middle, it's like, I
Could
can
go
go either
either way. If
way.
you're
Yeah,
cool
I'm
enough,
good.
maybe we can talk, but
Yeah,
otherwise, back up.
I'm half open, but beware. But
Yeah.
yeah, like we also talked about, like I always fidget with
Yeah.
necklaces. It's one of those
Yeah.
things. Sometimes I'll find myself just doing it without thinking about it, and I'll take it out and be like, "Oh, it knows. It
Ooh,
knew
this
that
is how
I
I'm
did."
feeling.
Yes, exactly. So it's become kind of a mood ring for me.
Love
So I guess
it.
at some point I accidentally turned it. I didn't consciously
That's
do
so
it.
good. I will not take it personally. No one else knew. I knew, and we shared it. I shared it anyway. I love it. I mean, I have this whole tray of all of your amazing jewelry here. So many favorite pieces, but I think, and of course, you're modeling for me, like your amazing earrings. There's just so many favorites. One of the things that I also was really excited about when we started talking was that sustainability was so important to you because it's so important to us. And so, and also accessibility. We wanted to make a range of pieces to really help women to be able to truly build their jewelry collection. And so using those cast created diamonds, just focusing on made instead of mined was really fun for us. And then a range of silver and gold and sort of creating all these silhouettes. So it felt like we were also just so aligned with what we were trying to do and what you wanted to do with jewelry, which was really exciting. The last little piece on it that I also love is these little, I call them Issa isms, but you wrote us all of these very cool little inspirational messages that we put in all of the jewelry that it would fit in.
Forgetting, yes,
It's
because
in there. I love it. You know, this one, I'm going to say this about fundraising. This one on the inside, it says, make your own yes. And I'm like, all right. And that speaks to what you're talking about. Like, just get out there, put your work out there, keep going. It's a moment. Like, I think that I definitely take these off and read them, when I need a little boost. I'm like, oh, yeah, embrace who you are. Like, all right, be funny, be awkward, be whatever it is, like your authentic self. I so admire that about you, and knowing you as a real person. I love that, like, that is truly who you are. And
I
it's,
love that y'all were able to incorporate that too, because I didn't know, again, I didn't know it was possible. And that was something that was your idea where you were just like, oh, what do you think about, putting these isms in there? Because, when you say stuff, you don't think about
you
it
don't
like,
think of it that
is it?
way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Someone's chanting that in the mirror to themselves, Issa.
Listen, if it gets you where you need to go, I love you. Whatever you
Oh
need.
gosh, I love it. Well, we are going to do a little raffle. I also want to make sure I share with everybody that we are also doing a 30% discount. So everyone that's tuning in, there's a code. We'll email you guys, but I've been told the code is, I've not tested this. So if it doesn't work, send us an email. It's cast brave. And don't forget the extra Issa Rae E in brave. So BRAEVE 30, and you get 30% off. And that's at cast. And I think it's for the next week. So go bonkers. And then
The
we
only
are,
people who are in this webinar will have access to that code.
everyone that's in this webinar will have access to that code, unless
Got
it gets all sneaky out there somewhere. I don't know. It's hard to keep that stuff locked down. I'm sure it'll get shared with everyone who signed up, even if they didn't make it, but they should be here.
Yeah, it's the topic.
It's it's special for you guys. And then we are raffling. So this is our MIDI Brave pendant, and it is just our slightly smaller version of the Issa Brave pendant, and it flips as well to this really cool black onyx medallion. And I just got a note that they did the drawing, and Mallory Lacayo, I hope that I'm saying your name right. Do you know Mallory
I
Lacayo?
don't know, but I'm like, okay, a winner
Oh, you
already.
know her. It's not rigged, I swear.
No, I don't know her. I don't know
Mallory Lacayo,
her.
this is yours. We're sending it your way. We're sending it your way. This was so much fun to talk. I knew there was not going to be enough time because there's so many
It's
things to
over?
talk about. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I promise I would get you out by 4 because you have a pitch. But I think what we could do in our final moments, I would love for you to share. I know I'm just making you share advice because you know what? It's Women's History Month. There's all these women. I have to say, we got so many lovely emails from women with all of these amazing stories. I'll send them to your assistant. Amazing stories of what they're doing, and questions for you, which I know we don't have time to go through, but I do think everyone listening would love to just hear some words of wisdom around women that are striving to kind of embrace their individuality and break barriers. Is there any sort of parting,
Oh
just that
man.
tiny little question in the last 3 minutes?
Yeah, I It's twofold because it always is with me. It's just, and it's part of what one of the mantras are is like embracing what you are and what makes you different. Like that, I always think about the fact that there is only one you and only one
Yeah.
person who sees things through your eyes and your point of view and your perspective. And one of the things that used to like really stress me out, just even as a creator, is like someone's gonna take my idea, someone's gonna
Mm,
take, or like do it before me. And so many people have the same idea, and what it comes down to is just how you execute it and what elements that you're bringing to the table that make it special. And once I realized that, I kind of felt invincible. And then the other thing is just like working with other women. We're the only ones who
yeah.
care about us the way like that we should be cared for. No one
Yeah.
literally prioritizes us but us, and it's so important. No one gets us like we do. We are like born understanding and being empathetic of all genders, and like when it comes to us, we're the only ones that care about us. And I think remembering that when we go out into the world and look out for each other, that we just share an understanding of what it means to be a woman and to
Yeah.
treat that with care.
I love that, supporting each other. And I feel like that was something that it's so much part of Cast being female
Yeah,
founded and led. And all of the designers that we've worked with are all women and artists and designers. And I love it. That's such a passion for you too. There's so many amazing reasons to, for us to get to work together that I'm just thrilled that we got to do it. And I'm so grateful for your time today. Thank you. And I asked you to do this, like, I don't know, barely a week ago. I was like, oh gosh, it's Women's History Month. You know what would be really cool? If Issa would do a webinar with me. I've never done one before, but it'll be great. What could go wrong?
it was
Um,
the easiest yes.
you agreed. Thank you. Thank you for helping me make my own yes. By agreeing to come on. It was amazing to chat with you. And I know we're going to get lots of additional feedback and questions and all the things. And hopefully we will do another one of these chats very soon. And I wish you the very best on your pitch that you're off
Thank
to. And I'm going
you.
to, this is open. I'm going to start drinking, but
I know that's right. Rachel,
it's
you are
after
the
four.
best. Thank you. Thank you for your amazing company and for having me be a part of it. And it's a pleasure to talk to you today. And thank you, everybody who came on the webinar that I can't see.
Thank you, Isa. Bye, everybody. See you later.
Bye.